Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live edition of the ACB Advocacy Update podcast. I am one of your hosts, Clark Rockfall, the Director of Advocacy and Governmental Affairs for the American Council of the Blind.
And I am your other host, Swatha Nandakumar, the Advocacy and Outreach Specialist for the American Council of the Blind.
And here we are. It is Thursday, July 1st. Geez, we are 2 weeks out from the ACB Conference and Convention. We are working our way through the tracks of programming available at this year's conference and convention. You can always learn more about these tracks at acbconvention.org. A big thank you to not only one of our guests, but the ACB of Minnesota for underwriting the Advocacy Update podcast. And thank you to all of you who are watching us live, whether that's on Facebook, YouTube, and everyone out there listening live via ACB Radio and the ACB Media Network. Swatha, so we've discussed audio description and everything with that track of programming. We've discussed the diversity, equity, and inclusion track, transportation, and technology. What do we have in store today?
Yes, today is the fun one, which is entertainment and entertainment track with our president, Mr. Dan Spoone, and our convention coordinator, Jan Dickelman. Hello.
Hello.
Dan, hello.
Hi, Swatha. Hi, Clark. Hi, Janet.
Thanks so much for having us. This is so much fun. It
Janet,
was so much fun till I found out we were actually doing this live. Then I kind of had a panic attack, but
Well, it's a fun topic, entertainment.
it is.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's good practice for the convention itself. Or everyone knows
It
Janet's
is.
voice, but now folks out there,
Now you
sighted,
get
low
to
vision,
see me,
exactly.
which is, you can always turn your screen the other way if you don't want to do that. But no, thank you very much for having us. This really is a fun track. And I know you've talked about several of these other tracks. And the fun thing about tracks is they do overlap. So today we're probably going to be talking about some things you've already heard about in some of the other tracks, but that's okay. You get to hear it more than once and you get to think about them in a different light or a different track.
Yep. So this year is my first convention, and I've heard a lot about it from all the members and from staff at ACB, and they're honestly so excited about it. And I'm very much interested to hear about all the events you guys have planned for the entertainment track. So tell us about the events you have for this year.
Oh boy, where do I begin? What do you say, Dan? Should we begin with some of the game nights games we're doing?
Yeah, let's kind of talk through the games first.
All
So
right.
that's pretty exciting. Yeah. So
we've learned that we can actually do games in a virtual world, which I have to say I was a little skeptical about at first when we started the 2020 convention, but we did determine that it really does work with all the Zoom events we've had for games. So we have several different things going on. Monday evening, Citizens Low Vision International and ACB Families are doing a rendition of Family Feud. That's going to be a lot of fun. I love Family Feud, and we'll see how they'll have people break into teams. I'm not quite sure how they're going to do it, but I know they have a map for figuring it out, and there will be prizes. Also, Wednesday night, the Alliance on Aging and Vision Loss is going to do Baby Boomer Trivia.
Ooh, that's my sweet spot. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I'm on Dan's team. Yeah.
Yeah, Dan would be a good person to be on the trivia team with. Yep, that would be good. And then Thursday, just before our ACB banquet, ACB Next Generation is doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the 90s edition. I don't know, 90s might be a little harder, but
That could be Clark and Swatha's sweet spot.
yeah,
There.
yes.
Yeah.
Give me the flannel and the grunge music and all the movies from 1994.
You got it.
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, and then we also have kind of a cool segment where we're actually having some experts come in and talk about accessible gaming for video gaming
Yes.
for blind and visually impaired, right, Janet?
Our students are doing this, and they have 2 sessions, one on Sunday and one on Thursday. And so that's going to be really, I think they have a panel of 6 people, and they're all going to talk about games that, I hear people talking about playing. My husband or son are playing Resident Evil or, all these games. I'm like, you could actually play that as a blind person? How cool is that?
I think those will really be interesting. And there's some real experts that actually competed in a
gaming
competition
tournaments
earlier this year. Yeah.
Yep. So that's.
And Janet, I want to stop you guys here because Dan, you mentioned about the tournament, the Cento Showdown that took place this year and last year. And we talked with Jeff Bishop on the technology track last week a little bit about this as well. And it just highlights to me, Janet, how you mentioned how the tracks
they interact,
overlap
they
with one
intertwine.
another.
Yep.
And a lot of the sessions are focused on, either personal, professional, advocacy, but the ACB convention, it isn't all work and no play, right?
No.
And that's what we're certainly seeing here today with this entertainment track.
Most certainly. And the thing I think our people like to do the most is socialize and go to mixers. And we've got a bunch of those, Janet, don't we? All week long, we've got people having mixers.
And that's a really good way to get to know about one of ACB's special interest affiliates. Our Randolph Shepherd Vendors of America is having a mixer Friday evening, and our Sight and Sound Impaired are having a mixer Saturday evening, along with our and you did say this is live, and now here I'm looking for something, and I told you I'd mess this up. Well, and our Blind Pride. Blind Pride is having a mixer Saturday night also, and they're turning 21.
Yeah, that's right. It's their 21st birthday.
21st birthday. How exciting.
And the next generation is having mixers, I think, almost every night.
They have a mixer Friday evening with the students, and then each evening, Monday through Thursday, they have a mixer, just kind of a convention check-in. So you can talk with people from our ACB Next Generation, our newest affiliate. And they'll, and just kind of discuss the convention, discuss what you learned during the day, and just kind of socialize. And that's a great idea. Our diabetics are having a mixer Sunday afternoon so that you can learn about what ACB diabetics are doing. And as I said, these are a great way to get to know the affiliate. Our Lions always have their Millie's Pin Place, Millie's Mixer. And that is also occurring during the convention. So we have, and that is, I'm sorry, the date for Millie's. Sorry, Millie's is going to be, the Lions are going to be mad at me. Their mixer is on,
I think it's
Monday
on
evening.
Is it what is Monday evening? Yeah.
Yep.
And then we've got movies. We've got 4 audio described movies. The best picture.
Movies. We do the best picture. That will be Friday evening. We always show the Academy Award winning picture. And this year, the Academy Award winning picture for 2021 was Nomadland.
I just read the book. I can't wait to listen to the audio described movie because the book was really interesting. I cannot believe how many people now actually have given up living in their homes and live in campers and vans, and not for a week or two. This is their permanent residence. And there's partnerships with Amazon and with the National Park Service. And it's amazing to see that whole tribal culture that has developed.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. I'm very anxious to see that also, because that should be a really good book, really good movie. I'm sorry.
It was a good book, and I think
whatever
that's
it is,
probably why it turned into a good movie. Yeah, it really did. And there's lots of books out there too, right? We're going to have book authors.
We're going to have
having a bunch of different folks. Yeah,
our library users is doing a segment on a discussion of Amanda Gorman and her work. Everybody remembers Amanda from the inaugural poem that she did. and how wonderful she is. And they've got some snippets that they're going to be playing of her reading poetry, some of them even accompanied by orchestras. So that's going to be really interesting. We're also doing a book club segment, our library users is, on how to set up a book club. And especially, I mean, and I know my book club went virtual, and we had a lot of Zoom meetings during the pandemic. So it's going to be talking about setting up virtual book clubs. But yeah,
and a conversation with our narrator, right?
Yeah. We always do. Yes, our talking book narrator, J.P. Linton, will be featured on Wednesday afternoon. So that's going to be really a lot of things going on. And our other movie is going to be, one of our other movies is called Under the Canvas. And my technology is not doing is off the canvas. I'm sorry. I'm switching back and forth here, technology, and obviously I'm not doing a very good job. I'm sorry. But this is a winner of several different awards, and it is about a woman who is a visually impaired art teacher in New York City, and the story of how she has dealt with being a blind art teacher and her students at the School for the Blind in Bronx.
I think that will be extremely interesting. Yeah, I really do. Yeah, Clark, what do you, what are your interests in the entertainment area? You and Swatha, we probably got something that'll cover you.
Yep.
Oh, you definitely do. And Janet mentioned how book clubs have gone virtual over the past year. With the ACB convention, one of the things that people look forward to the most are the tours for wherever we are in person. In 2019, being in Rochester, there was a tour to Cooperstown in the Baseball Hall of Fame, as well as Niagara Falls there on the last day.
Sure.
But last year, ACB had to do something pretty innovative to still offer tours to our members. Can you talk a little bit about how ACB is still offering tours for a virtual convention?
Sure.
You want to start? You want to take the lead on this, Dan, and then I can fill in with some of the tours.
Yeah, that'd be great, Jen. Yeah, the audio description project, and more specifically, the committee that works on performing arts, museums, and parks, has really kind of outdone itself, reaching out to different parks and museums across the country. And I believe this year we're offering 20 different tours. They're going to run for 6 hours a day for the first 4 days of the convention, and then they'll cycle 3 times. So it's a continuous loop for the audio description tours channel. It'll be a dedicated channel on our ACB media network, and they'll play for. So you're going to get 24 hours of tours, and there's some amazing tours backed by popular demand, is like the Houston Holocaust Museum and Mount Rushmore and the Graham Bell Museum, I think. So some really good museums there. And then we added in Kitty Hawk, in North Carolina, and that particular
Flight
tour.
93, the memorial from Shanksville, Pennsylvania. That's going to be really something.
And then the Olympics Museum from Colorado. I mean,
and the Disney Museum,
the Disney home. Yeah.
Disney. Yeah. That's going to be. And then there's one that I had to look it up because I didn't know what Castle Williams was. And it was built in New York Harbor in the 1800s to defend the land from attack. So it's a tour of a harbor, of a fortress in the New York Harbor.
That was built in the harbor. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
the final fort that was built there in that whole project, it was after the War of 1812, and we figured our United States figured they needed to defend their borders, and Alcatraz was built as part of that project that a lot of people have heard of. It later became a prison there outside of San Francisco, and then the dry tortugas in Fort Jefferson down in Key West to defend.
And we're going to have that tour too. We're going to have that tour too. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a whole tour of forts here that defended our country. Buff. Yeah.
And I think this is going to be cool. The Museum of Natural History, their elephant diorama. So we'll get to learn all about the elephants.
Yeah.
I think that, and you mentioned the Olympics tour. That's going to be and National Portrait Gallery with some selected pictures, presidential pictures. And another one that I'm sure is going to be really popular is the Riverlands Migratory Bird Sanctuary. Can you imagine all the birds that we're going to get to hear?
Oh, I know. That's going to be amazing. And we had
Yep.
2 tours that were so long, we've actually given them a dedicated channel right now.
We have.
Debbie Hazelton, right? Just to get us
The
started.
Thomas Jefferson.
I think it's the Benjamin Franklin and the
Benjamin
Delano Roosevelt tours.
Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And they're appearing on ACB Media Network channels 8 and 9 right now.
Yep.
So you can go and listen to them before
They're on.
the convention. They're on right now.
I part of one the other day.
Yeah. You know, bring your breakfast, lunch, and dinner for that Franklin
Yes.
Delano Roosevelt tour. It's 11 and a half hours long. Yeah.
Yep. And then we do have another tour that is part of our convention that is put on by ACB Families, and they're doing a tour of Mammoth Cave.
And I think what's really interesting about that one, not only are they doing the tour, but then they're having park rangers be available
Come and
to
talk.
answer questions
Yep.
afterwards, which I think will be really nice. Yeah.
And that's Friday afternoon. at
Yeah,
4
for the
p.m.
first Friday, right after
The
the
first
board
Friday,
meeting.
first Friday, yep.
So, the most important entertainment of all of this, Clark, is the board meeting, which will be held from 10 to 4
Oh, yeah,
on
we
Friday.
forgot to oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm
So when
sorry,
you
I didn't
wake
have
up
that
from
in
that,
the
you can-
entertainment track.
You can go right to the Mammoth Caves tour.
You can also learn about Bookshare on Friday afternoon. When I neglected to mention that when we were talking about different books.
Yeah.
That's, a great source of not only educational but entertainment.
And I believe Lou was also doing a presentation with Judy Dixon on her new book she's just
On her
written for
book,
the National
yes,
Braille
they
Press on all
And,
the opportunities for streaming.
Yep.
And
And
mentioning
With audio
streaming,
description,
we got
yes.
audio description Monday night. Let's talk a little bit about our prime time shows.
Oh,
Janet.
all right. Let's do that. But I just want to, I just don't mean to interrupt you, but when you mentioned books, there's another author that we're going to have. And her name is Christy Bain. And this is put on by our guide dog users. And she talks about the world of dog training, raising guide dogs. As
kind
a
of
puppy raiser.
racing,
Yep,
puppy racer.
yep.
Oh, that
So
would be
that's gonna
very
be-
interesting. Yeah.
Yep, that's going to be another one. But yes, audio description on Monday. Our industry update panel. And this is
Right.
always, last year I was blown away by all the people all the companies, the big entertainment moguls that came to our convention and talked about what they were doing for audio description.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we've even got more. We've got
Yeah, this is really all the major streaming services, right? So we've
Yep.
got Netflix and
Netflix,
Amazon,
we've got Google,
Prime.
and we've got Amazon, and we've got Disney.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we've got the NBC Comcast with the new Peacock channel that
Yes.
has launched, and HBO, and it just AT&T. It just goes
It
on
goes
and
on
on.
and on, and it's just an amazing. It says so much about ACB and the commitment by these companies to do audio description that they would send their executives to come and talk at our convention and be available to answer questions.
I think that's going to be a wonderful presentation. And
Yep.
then we start off on Friday with our Friends in Art Showcase, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of the crown jewel of the Friday evening broadcast.
For those of you who don't know, Friends in Art is one of our special interest affiliates. And they always have their showcase of the performing arts, and it's always, of course, live. Well, last year we had to rethink that, and so they had people send in their audition tapes, and they have prepared for us a 2-hour pre-recorded show, and it has everything from people playing musical instruments to vocals to people doing some readings. I haven't seen the schedule for it yet, but I know it's always a wide variety and a wealth of talent. Debbie, maybe you'd like to talk a little. Debbie Hazelton is here, and I know she's heavily involved. You want to talk about the showcase a little bit, Debbie?
Well, sure. Hi there, everyone. Yeah, the showcase is amazing because Derek Lane, who is a superb audio editor who's been teaching many of us about Reaper editing software, he gets with Jason Castonguay and they develop kind of a theater ambient sound. So you get that sense that you're really listening to it in a theater, and you every now and then can hear a cough and you hear applause, and you get that environment. And so many people put in auditions for it, and one of the things that I want to see us do going forward is we have community calls of karaoke and gospel sing. I really want us to encourage more of our community to get involved with our affiliates. I think at the last minute, this did happen. Many people submitted. We also have one of our people, Nancy Pendergraph, who's been involved with the showcase for many years. She is going to facilitate a program called, I think it's on Sunday, called You've Gotta Have
Harp.
Harp.
That's right.
And and they will be talking about harp and maybe playing a little bit, but that's in a Zoom. It's not a concert, but there are many people who are blind or visually impaired who are studying harp. I'm one of them, but I won't be playing. I'll be streaming, but I haven't had time to play. So anyway, but it's really good.
And we have some other great musical
the opera
shows. We have opera arias, and this what they claim in their write-up is that if you know nothing about opera, you will leave loving opera. So I'm going to, not that I don't enjoy a night opera, but a night of great arias. And so I think that's going to be really, from Mozart to Puccini, they say.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be very, and they mentioned my buddy Pavarotti, from Callis to Pavarotti. So they're going to talk about the great composers and the great stars. And then there is another session Wednesday evening about music and protest. And many of us of a certain age remember all the protest songs that came out, Pete Seeger and Peter, Paul and Mary. And, they're going to be discussing the importance of music and along the lines of protests. And also there were
like Joan Baez, who just was honored by the Kennedy Honors.
Joan Baez. Yes.
It's very, I think that really intrigues me to see the role that music played in the protest movement of the 60s. Yeah.
Yep. So that's going to be another good session. And then we were talking about Friends in Art. Our Friends in Art group offers a scholarship to an individual. I was going to say musical, but I guess it doesn't have to be musical, every year. And so they're going to kind of do a Where Are They Now, and have a group of their prior scholarship winners and their 2021 scholarship winner just talk about what they've been doing with their lives. And that's really cool, I think, to have that follow-up, to see where someone, what coming to a convention maybe has meant to some of these scholarship recipients.
And Dan, why is that important to have the scholarship socials and the events for the Dermot K. McDaniel first timers and our leadership fellows at the convention?
Well, I think it's really an opportunity to introduce our scholarship winners for the first time, for a lot of them, to the American Council of Blind. So I really encourage our members, take advantage of the scholarship reception and come and meet our 21 ACB scholarship winners for this year. Had an opportunity to do it last year, attend both the reception and and the dinner, the virtual dinner. But it really was, they're just wonderful stories, the advocacy efforts they've had to put forward to get through school. And what you really see there is the synergy amongst the students as they kind of get to know each other. And I really think there's an opportunity for us to really introduce this new group of students and young people to the American Council of Blind. And then with the DKM JP Morgan Chase Fellows winners, I think, again, just a wonderful opportunity to honor them for becoming new young leaders inside of our organization and really getting to know the future, as well as our first timers. You know, we select a winner from each side of the Mississippi that gets to come to a convention for the first time, and we'll get to meet those first timers this year. And what we were talking about earlier is I think it's going to be amazing next year in Omaha. We're going to have 3 classes of scholarship winners, 3 classes of DKM, you know, JP Morgan Chase Fellows and first timers. We're going to have, you know, we're going to have an
We're going to have a lot of new people.
We're going to have an
Yes,
army
we are.
of new people all
Yep.
to meet in person and give a big shake of the hand and hug to next
Yep.
year. So that'll be exciting.
And the events that Dan was talking about, the student scholarship reception is Sunday afternoon, and that's open to anyone who would, you know, it'll, of course, be on Zoom, and you can go and listen to the scholarship members being introduced. And then they're also introduced during our morning general sessions, Monday through Thursday, when we'll hear from each scholarship recipient individually. And then our DK Morgan Chase leaders and our Durwood K. McDaniel, our JP Morgan Chase and our Durwood K. McDaniel first timers will be introduced Sunday evening at opening general session. And then their reception is Wednesday evening.
And I think, again, we've kind of did this for the first time last year, but we've got video interviews with each scholarship winner, including the CCLVI scholarship winners as well, as well as the DKM first timers and the JP Morgan Chase Fellow winners. And I think it's wonderful to get a chance to have them be on video and say a few words. It really worked out last year, and I think it'll become a fixture of our conventions going forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And Swatha, is there anything in particular that you are looking forward to on the entertainment track?
So I was really excited about hearing I was really excited about hearing about the trivia nights and the game nights, but also there's a lot of like the theme this year is kind of one ACB, one world kind of theme, and we'll like get together wherever we are, and the merge too. The merge is all about the globe and all about the world. So I was really excited. I was interested to hear about the kind of DEI and entertainment. We've heard from Peggy and Gabe about the more serious events, but I want to hear more about the like the 10 worlds, 10 worlds, 10
and the voices around the world.
Yes.
I think that will be, the International Relations Committee will be hosting that. And it's really kind of an expansion on their Voices Around the World luncheon. And I think that's going to be really exciting to have the folks come in and participate from all across the world.
All around the world.
And remember, BPI is doing more about wine.
Wine. Oh my goodness. Yes. If you
That's
want wine
for some people.
It is. There are learning, I think there's going to be a war between red and white wines. There's going to be sipping, and there's going to be, wine tasting, wine describing, wine production, you name it, you're going to get to know about wine.
Yes, get to know your vino, and I like the one from grapes to your glass.
From grapes to glass, yes, that's the one talking about
process.
how they do the production of wine. Yes,
yes, I can't even imagine by Friday that group's going to have a hard time standing up.
So, Dan, sweeter, full-bodied wine.
I really agree with what you said, Dan. I think that for many, it's the energy of everyone getting together, whether it's people getting together to share and learn and find information and to find new friends. I mean, many people have made new friends via Zoom and long distance, probably all of us. And so that whole thing of sociability and learning and all that, that's just an ongoing, wonderful kind of thing that happens with convention, whether it's in person or virtual.
I agree with you, and I've always said ACB is love. And I think through these community events and these conventions, a lot of times there's, people who find a spark and end up with a relationship. It's been exciting to see, I just talked to a woman the other day who met somebody on the community events, and they're now like doing a little cross country dating and getting to see each other. So it's pretty exciting. It really is.
Yeah. We've had a lot of convention romances and marriages. Yep.
Now let's talk a little. Now this is the most exciting part of the convention to me along the entertainment side is the Sisters Power Breakfast.
Sister Power Breakfast.
Where we're going to honor two longtime sisters inside of ACB. Janet, who would that be?
Yeah. Oh, well, the one, I can't remember the name of the one person. The other one is Pam Shaw, who we all know has been around at conventions, did our information desk for a number of years. And now she has her own company, Joy Restoration Coach, and she will be talking about her life. And then there's a woman named Debbie, something with an H. Hazelnut? No, that's not right. Hazelton. ACB Radio Program Director.
Do we have any preview there, Debbie? What do you think?
Any preview? What are you talking now?
I
these segments always make me cry. So
I'm going to talk about inspiration, how my life is an inspired full life, and kind of some of where I came from and where I am now, and things that I've learned along the way. And things that I think I can offer that give people a sense of hope and a sense of, possibility, can do, and a sense of joy. So I'll be just talking about life and things that I've done and learned along the way.
Well, wow.
I have to say that's a session I never miss during the convention. It's really hard for me to get to sessions, but I always carve out time to go to that Sister Power Breakfast in person. And I will be there to listen to you and Pam.
Well, and last I heard from my wife, I'm not invited. So, yeah.
Well, we sometimes have a token man or two.
Do you? Okay.
Well, at least I won't be able to get the rotten tomatoes that you throw at me, Janet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Not
I would if we were in person.
Well, wait a minute. Yeah. But the convention kind of builds as the week goes along. And so I'm really excited. Right. We've talked about some of our primetime shows, but we have, of course, the auction on Tuesday night.
Oh, and man, that's entertaining.
That's what we were saying. That really is entertainment.
Yes, and so my understanding is from the auction share,
100 items.
There's going to be there's a total of 125 items. So there will be 34 items that'll be done in what they're calling an appetizer auction on Wednesday and Thursday before the convention gets started. So that's a little whet your appetite appetizer auction. And then on Tuesday, I think they're going to do 91 items live from 7 o'clock until, I think their goal is to be done by 11 at the latest. And boy, that's a whole lot of fun.
When those wars start, boy, that is exciting, and that is entertainment. People get to be a little cutthroat. It's fun to watch.
Well, and it's funny to see the different strategies. Some lay back and do the whomp bit at the end, right? And then others are just aggressive and want to be the first one out there and put their foot in the pool right away. So it's kind of interesting to see the strategies.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Janet, is there anything that folks need to do during registration? Registration was running in June, and it's reopening on July 14th.
Yes.
But to participate in the auction, is there anything you have to do?
As long as you are registered, it's this year. As long as you're registered for the convention, you will automatically receive the Zoom link for the auction. Of course, you can listen on ACB Radio whether you're registered or not. But if you want to be able to bid, you do have to have registered for the convention. And everyone who is registered will receive a Zoom link and can just go right into the auction and raise their hand and start bidding at the appropriate time.
Early and often, right?
So
early and often.
Bid early, bid often.
Janet,
let's
if
talk
anybody-
a little bit.
If anybody
go ahead,
wants
yes.
to, if anybody wants to add to their registration, like to support any affiliates, can they do that still or no?
Right now they can't, but you can go
Okay.
back in on July 14th and add in anything that you'd like at that point. And normally you have to go just through the Minneapolis office. This year we're going to open it so that you can go back and do it online if you want to add something in. Or if you want to register and haven't registered, you can go in and do it online. Do we have time to talk a little bit about Olympics?
Oh, I want to talk about the banquet
And the
Olympics.
banquet, yes.
Banquet, and then we'll close it out.
All right. Who hasn't heard of Wait, Don't Tell Me and NPR and Peter Sagal? I think we'd be kind of hard pressed to find somebody who hasn't, don't you think?
And Swatha, they're
Because
right down the
Peter-
street from you in Chicago.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
Yeah.
I have not been, but yeah, I've not been.
Yeah.
But he does a news quiz with kind of a comedic bent to it and a lot of interviews. And we have him as our banquet speaker. And he is extremely engaging and entertaining. And he also has been a guide for blind runners and was running in the Boston Marathon and had just, was just crossing the finish line when the bomb went off. So he'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that's going to be, and of course at our banquet we have a lot of our ACB awards are presented. So that's always a wonderful time. And the drawing for the ACB Braille Form raffle.
Always a highlight. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I know.
I remember the year I remember the year my mother-in-law won it. We were all very excited.
Oh, wow.
Yes. No, Debbie, you're wrong. I'm winning this year.
And Dan, the banquet is on Thursday night.
Thursday.
It's on Thursday night instead of Friday because of a really special event we've got on Friday that I think Clark, you and Kim have been working very hard with NBC Comcast to kind of pull this together. So maybe we'll let you share a little.
Yeah,
about
let's let Clark talk about it. And I'm sure you
Absolutely.
talked about it during audio description, but it bears being talked about again during entertainment.
Yeah.
Yes, it cuts across many tracks, a lot like the other programs we've discussed. And it is the Friday, July 23rd, beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. This is 2 hours before the Olympic opening ceremonies begin. And Kim and I are putting together a agenda for that time period that will cover everything Comcast and NBC Universal are doing to provide audio description for the Olympic opening ceremonies. We will hear from those involved at Comcast and NBC Universal, as well as those doing the audio description. We are hoping to have some athletes who have either participated in games past or who are on the team to compete at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo coming up in August. So we'll get to meet some blind athletes who we can cheer for later in the year. And as I'm sure folks are aware, NBC Universal will have expanded primetime coverage for the Paralympic Games this year as well. So we're really excited about that programming. But that's just the pregame show, because then we will be broadcasting live with video and with audio description the 2021 Tokyo Olympic opening ceremony.
And it's going to be both video and audio, right? So it'll be on YouTube as well as on our ACB Media Network.
So that's going to be a lot of Olympics.
Yes.
It's going to get folks very excited to cheer for Team USA at both the Olympics and the Paralympic Games this summer.
Yeah.
And a big thank you to Comcast and NBC Universal for helping make that happen. But also to Debbie and the crew from the ACB Radio and ACB Media, because we wouldn't even have a virtual convention to share this entertainment track and the other programming if we didn't have the great folks involved on the back end, helping out with the audio and video.
Amen.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
It's
I
exciting.
hope it's very much exciting. I hope we can make that watch party the biggest watch party ever of blind and visually impaired people for an event. I think it could pass the eclipse from a few years ago. I think
It
it's
could.
really exciting. Yeah.
Well, it'd
that'll
be
fun.
interesting if a lot of sighted people also find out and tune in and pass the word. You never know what new interest we could find from that. That's excellent.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity to invite your whole family and set of friends to participate with audio description and see what it's like. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing for the opening Olympics. I said, well, I'll be almost done with the convention, and I'm just going to be watching like everybody else. So I've got a group of friends and family coming over to watch the Olympics opening ceremony that evening. So yes, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And there's so many other things. We could go on and on here about all the entertainment. We didn't even get to focus on all the movies. We started talking about a couple of other things. We have a couple of other movies that we're hoping to show. We're still waiting for a little bit of information on them, but we have one movie two movies that our Blind Pride organization affiliate have come up with, and one is called Rafiki, and it is about two young women and who long for something more, and their political rivalry between their families, and their difficulty in getting education. They are going through war-torn life in Africa, and it's their story, and it's a love story, and it's a story of survival, and it's a story of political oppression, and that's going to be a great movie on Sunday. And then we also have another movie that they're doing Tuesday about a young blind man finding his way in love through a difficult situation. So we've got a couple of good movies that our Blind Pride affiliate is putting on. We have, as we said, we have a lot of wine activities. We just so many things. And the good thing is a lot of these. Now, maybe not all the mixers, but a lot of these things are going to be available in podcasts. So if you miss them the first time, you're going to be able to get some of them after the convention.
And Debbie, can you talk with us a little bit about that? Because that is the case. That was the case last year, and at this convention, it'll be no different. I guess the only difference is now we have programming that's organized by tracks, and we'll have podcasts available, and we'll also have a bunch of video content available. So what goes into the work of the ACB radio and ACB media to make all of this content available after the convention?
And ACB radio is really becoming more just ACB media, which is kind of interesting to see that being born. But we are working on how we're going to get all this over 300 hours of content edited into our podcasts. So I'm sure we'll have people editing the video content, and there will be a lot put up on YouTube and perhaps also on Facebook. But we will also be editing. We have a whole team of production people. I think we have more production people than we do streamers, actually, at this point in time. But we're planning on all of our audio content to be edited by the end of August. If it gets done even sooner, that's great. But we are going to start with general sessions being the first priority. We're going to replay general sessions throughout that week, throughout convention week, and then add prime time into the following week of replaying both of those, probably on streams 9 and 10. And then we will continue with our work on the podcasts and upload them as we have them. That's very exciting. And I really think it's much more organized this year. So we'll be able to get it out and more professionally noted as to when things are available. And
And
will
with
be by track.
140 plus sessions, that's no easy task.
No, it is not. But I'm so pleased with the number of people who said they would edit throughout the convention. I mean, I plan on editing while I'm streaming in some cases. I think some other people will be as well. Editing throughout the rest of July and editing in August as well. And so I know Tyson Ernst is coordinating that, and I'm so thankful. I know I can always count on him to do just an extraordinary job, as he just did with World Blind Union. So very exciting. I'm super proud. And those podcasts will be available by tracks. And I think those tracks are going to help us go forward with program planning. So many, many thanks to tons of hardworking people.
Tons. I mean, it's just amazing, the volunteers and how much of their time and the staff and all the extra hours they're putting in.
Takes a village to raise this convention.
To raise a convention.
It's getting to be a town now, not a village.
That's right. Better together wherever we are,
I
right?
love that.
Well, I mean,
phrase.
this would not happen if not for the members of ACB, those volunteering with ACB Media, the Zoom hosts that have been born out of the ACB community in the events taking place over the last year, and then all of our affiliate leadership and committee chairs and committee members helping to pull this convention together.
That is so true.
Yes.
It's like Christmas. It really is Christmas in July in a way. It's so magical when it all comes together.
That's
it really
true.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
That it is. And we just scratched the surface here of all of the great programming available at the 2021 ACB Conference and Convention. Folks, please join us. And as you've heard, there are multiple ways that you can join us, but the best way is to register. Go to acbconvention.org. Registration will open again, Janet, July 14th.
July 14th.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that allows you to be part of the conversation and
receive all the Zoom links.
Yep. But if you're unable to register for whatever reason, ACB Media has you covered on your smart speakers, the ACB Link app, on acbmedia.org.
Yep.
Your Victor
Amazon
Stream.
devices, your Victor Stream, that's right. Everything. They've all been updated.
Even
with
the
our
phone.
ACB meeting.
That's right. Even the phone, you can call it.
Yep.
What's that phone number, Debbie?
518-906-1820. 518-906-1820.
And if you want to read about all these sessions that we're talking about and everything else that the convention has to offer, go to acbconvention.org, and there's a Browse Sessions tab, and you can read through everything that is being held during the convention.
And our 10th stream will be an information stream, and it will have lots of information. We'll start having more about our candidates and campaigning and all that, but then during the convention we'll have a lot of information. And on the phone, even though it's a single digit only menu, if you press 0, you will get to that stream. So lots of good information. We're going to use that stream going forward for more information about our schedules and of all kinds of things, news, ACB news going forward.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That is great. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing the content included on the entertainment track for the ACB Conference and Convention. And thank you again to ACB Media and Debbie for all the work that you all are doing to help us pull this off.
Thanks, Clark. Thanks,
Great.
Swatha.
Thanks for having us.
Wonderful afternoon.
So, and folks, like Janet said, visit acbconvention.org to learn more about the convention and to join us this summer. That's it for the podcast here today. We will be back next week to talk about the health and wellness track of programming. But until then, Swatha,
keep advocating.